Hi guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. So again, in the previous section we were on our way to creating a timer for the maze scene. So again, I'm going to save this scene right now, and again what we have is a timer here with a script that we have created earlier on that is linked to this object. Therefore the time is displayed in the console window. So what we want to do now is to start to basically display the time but on the user interface. So for this purpose we're going to create a brand new object. So again, go to game object, UI, and then type text. And again, timer, I'm going to call it timer UI. Is that okay? So again, to look at this object a little bit better, you can switch to the 2D mode, and if you zoom out, you should see, if you pan your view as well, you should see that this is basically that's the view that you will have for the game. So again, I'm going to take this object and move it to the very just I'm going to move it to the middle, let's say, of the screen, right? Now if I zoom in, you should see that the text is quite small. So again, what you can do is for this text UI there, you can start to, okay, this is your text. So again, you can change the font to maybe 100 and maybe change the size as well of this object. So again, if you look at this time your UI there, I should be able to change its size. I'm going to say on there. Okay, and so again, the size could be, so I could put maybe 400 here, and maybe height, maybe 100. And again, I think the font is a bit too big, so I'm going to put 50. Okay, and again you can see that my text is there. I'm going to make sure that it's aligned properly, so again centered on the vertically and horizontally. And also I could change the color because right now it's just too dark, so we won't actually be able to see it. Okay, perfect, and done. All right, so this is my text, and it should appear basically in the very middle of the screen right there. So that's the very first thing. Okay, that's the test. That's the time. Now what I need to do is to change the code so that the time is actually displayed in this window. So again here, the very first thing that I want to do is to make sure that the time display at the very start of the text in this component, which is the text UI for the timer, is basically empty. So I'm going to do object, game object, dot find, game object, dot find, and I'm going to look for an object called, and I think it's called timer UI. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and timer UI. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to have to import a new namespace. So again, dot UI. Okay, that's done. So now here, dot get component. So again, no, that should be done actually. Dot get component text dot text equals nothing. So what I'm doing here is if you go back to Unity, you can see that my UI component here has an attribute called text, which is right here. So a component called text, by the way. So it's a component, and within this component you have an attribute that is called text. So in effect, in my code, I'm accessing the component called text, and within this component I'm accessing the attribute called text. I'm just making sure that it's basically empty. Then what I need to do is, you can see that this code is basically displaying the times so in the console window. So I'm going to copy part of whatever is in there and put it inside here. Okay, so just a quick copy paste there. So that should display the actual time. The last thing I need to do is, because my level is now called level 1, I'm going to have to delete this code and instead put level 1, which means that we're going to reload level 1 whenever the time is up. And obviously if I do that, what I need to do is to go back to my build settings to include the level called level 1 to the build settings so that it can be reloaded accordingly. So again, if I go back to file and then build settings, so file and build settings, I can just add open scene. Is it okay? Which is level 1. All right. And when this is done, again, close this, save my scene, and again, play it. And what I should see is that the timer will increase. Whenever it will reach 2 seconds, the scene will be reloaded. So again, it's going to take a few seconds. And once the scene has started, you should see that the time is displayed in the middle, right there. And whenever we reach 2 minutes, it should actually reload the current scene. Okay, so if I move around, and after 2 minutes, you should see that it will reload. That's it, the current scene. Okay, so that seems to work. Now, if you find that the code is a bit small, you can decode the actual text on screen for the time that is. If it is too small, you can increase the size, and you can change its color as well. But generally, this is working in the sense that basically you can display the time. It increases progressively every second, and it will reload the current scene once we have gone beyond 2 minutes.